quite a number of people will raise the point that democracy is a game of numbers.
Sure.
And so if the mass, the critical mass,
Yes.
don't get it,
Yes.
it doesn't matter.
Yes.
Even if that leader is staring at them in the face.
Exactly.
They won't recognize him. It's part of the frustration
Yes.
that many of those you described as having been good people
Yes.
who tried and then had to walk away from the
Walk away,
process
yeah.
in frustration
Yes.
had to go through.
For example, you'll see that after Abacha passed away in 1998, we had a very spectacular opportunity for Nigeria to be reshaped in a certain way. But what happened was that many people who fought against Abacha for democracy, either because of fear of their lives or they didn't believe that this was real, that this democracy was going to be restored and it would be real, many of them avoided politics. A space was created. Nature abhors a vacuum. A lot of 419ers, charlatans, all kinds of characters stepped in. The situation we have in Nigeria till today is a legacy of that missed opportunity in 1999. So, where do we go from here? It is the onus is on two sets of people. The guys who have what it takes or what is required, not to walk away, but to come right back in to the political arena. Then the citizens of Nigeria, based on the reality of their lives, which is a life of extreme poverty for nearly half of the population of this country. So at the very least, their enlightened self-interest should tell them that we are very poor. We're not supposed to be like this. Isn't it time to begin to elect the types of leaders who have a vision for prosperity and how to bring it about, who can manage institutions, who can manage the national economy, who can unite Nigeria instead of divide Nigeria, who can restore Nigeria's standing in the world because they understand international relations, international politics, and things like that. Our citizens have a duty to themselves to have this realization. Now, but for the people who have what it takes, they should not allow the citizens to come to this realization in the comfort of their bedroom. It may take 50 years. It is for those people to go out, come into the arena, and begin to politically educate the Nigerian masses.
Which is what has led you into this, because so many people have asked.
Yeah.
So many people have asked that you've got a comfortable life, you teach abroad, you've had, things are quite good,
Yes.
really. Why burden yourself?
Some people asked,
Yeah,
do I need to see a psychiatrist?
why burden yourself with this? Because
Exactly.
they can almost always predict that
Yes.
you're going to be frustrated with this.
I don't think I will be frustrated with this. Let me tell you why. I love Nigeria. I love our people. It's a labor of love, and I'm in it for the long haul. It is for the rest of my life I will fight for good governance and a prosperous economy in this country. I've made that choice. My personal comfort or my personal success or achievements do not matter to me anymore. I'm fulfilled. So I'm going into this for the people of Nigeria, not for myself.
Now,
So-
I'm sorry,
so, yeah.
again, I have to
Yes.
cut in
No, yeah,
because
sure. Absolutely.
I'm looking at this and
Yeah.
I'm asking myself the question,
Yeah.
as people have asked me.
Yes.
And I said, when I have the opportunity, I will ask you.
Yes.
Politics in Nigeria at the moment, largely speaking, is about money.
Yes.
No doubt there are those who point out that in that regard you do very well.
No,
But do you
I actually don't.
do you do well enough to be able to do this?
Yes, that is to say, what I'm trying to say is, personally, I'm okay. I can pay my children's school fees, you know, and I'm even a philanthropist on a small scale. My little, whatever I've made in life, I use it to help other people. Even when I was in the United Nations, I used my salary to set up a foundation. So it's not about how rich you are. It's about the heart you have. So I would never be counted among people who have money in any serious sense. I'm not begging for food, you know, but having the type of money that is generally required for politics in Nigeria, no way, Jose, no way. But it's not stopping me. Do you know why? It's not stopping me because I believe that what we describe as our reality is created by our thinking and our actions. If we decide to change that reality, it will change. There's no Messiah that's going to come down from upstairs to come and change our reality. It is you and me that will change that reality. That's why I'm doing this. When we wait for who will do it, what are you doing as a citizen? We're all citizens, and we have a duty to our country to make it a better place for our children. Look at the poverty in this country. I am not comfortable with it at all. I have children who are proud of Nigeria and want to grow up in Nigeria. I look at average Nigerian citizens. When I go to give a lecture somewhere, let's say I'm speaking at the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs in Lagos, for example. I finish, we have had a great conversation, the people are happy, I am happy, then you come out of the hall. You are besieged by hundreds of people. Oga, can I have transport money? Oga, I want to get to Ojuelegba. I beg now, 1,000 only. Hey! And this kills me. I don't like it. I feel very pained when I see the mass poverty in this country. And what actually pains me even more is that I'm coming to believe that it is deliberately inflicted by our politicians so that the citizens will remain poor and continue to depend on them for handouts such as what they were giving out in Ekiti, so that they can remain in power in perpetuity. That is to say, these people believe they own Nigeria. The rest of us ought to be poor. That is never to be accepted.
I will ask you this. You've been on the trail now for a while.
Yes.
What has generally been the response that you've received to the ideas and so on? Because quite a number of your critics have pointed out that the large part of your life you've spent in developed countries, you've worked at the United Nations, you're at the central bank, and so on. So what do you really know about poverty and about the Nigerian society's reality, the masses situation, and so on? You've been at this high level virtually all your life.
Let me debunk that myth. The reason some people may think so is that because, of course, for the last several years, that is where they have seen me. My father was a civil servant. I didn't come from a wealthy home, but it was a decent home. He earned his salary, he took care of us, he and my mother, and we went to normal schools in Nigeria. I have spent more than half of my life in this country. So there is nothing about Nigeria I don't know. I went to primary school in Nigeria. I went to secondary school in Nigeria. I went to university in Nigeria, the University of Nigeria in Nsukka. So in my adulthood, I now began to pursue an international career. And some people now turn around and think that that makes you somehow a foreigner. That is very unfair, because you are a full-blooded Nigerian. You've lived through the Nigerian experience. My father was in the Foreign Service in the early 60s. I returned to Nigeria with him in 1967, just as the Civil War was about to start. And we went into the Eastern region, which very quickly became Biafra. I lived through war for 3 years. How many people who are making these kinds of allegations have gone through an experience of war? Some of them were sitting down in Lagos while we were being bombed in Biafra. So I've had experiences that you'll be very surprised. The air raid is coming. We're all kitty into the bunker. Close the bunker. Suffocating. Some air vents, but sweating. We're going around picking up as children grasshoppers, crickets, frying them. Wonderful delicacy, by the way. But I bet you many of the people who will say Kingsley Moghalu, what does he know? They've never eaten a cricket. They don't know what it tastes like. They've been eating plantain, bole, yam, obono soup, eforifo, all those things, right? So I'm trying to tell you that my experience is actually more rooted in reality than a lot of people in this country.